Okay, hello everyone. Welcome back to VB.NET tutorials. Today's tutorial is about arrays. Usually when you are writing your programs, sometimes you will need to process large amount of information. Let's say, for example, you are writing an application to process your students' marks, and you need, for example, find the average for the marks. Usually we'll have about 30 to 40 students, maybe more, maybe less. The traditional way we learned is to define distinct variable for each mark. Okay, so in case you have a limited number, it's okay, but actually it's not the best way to do it. Other problems, let's say you want to process audio data. In this case it will be very different. The audio samples could be in thousands, and you cannot define a variable for each sample. Here arrays can save you lots of trouble and make programming easy. So let's see what an array is. Now, the array itself is a data structure. It is more like a variable, or actually a set of variables, or of all of them are of the same data type. Okay, and they all share the same name. So let's look at this simple representation. Now, this blue part is just for clarification. This indicates the location of each variable in the array, and the location usually starts from point 0, as you can see here. The next one is 1, and so on. So you have in total 8 locations, and each location here is used to store the same data type. So if this is an array of integer, it will store integers only. If this is an array of string, it will store strings, and so on. Okay, now let's see how to use the array. Okay, now first thing you want to do while you are working with the arrays is to define one. In order to define an array, you write something like this: dimension a bracket the number of element as the data type. So here the a is the name of your array. Let's say you want to make an array called cuckoo, for example, or student marks, or the ages, or PP. You can use any name you like, okay, as long as it serves you and make things easier for you to remember. Okay, the next one, sorry, I have a few seconds to move the mouse because PowerPoint is hiding my pointer. Sorry. So the next one is the number of elements. When you write the value 7 here, you are actually getting one extra value. So here you are getting 8 elements. So when you define array A of 7, you can see the first element is element 0 and the last element is 7. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. You will have a total of 8. If you define an array of 100 elements, it will have 101 elements. So you must keep in mind that there is an extra element, and that's its address is always 0. Now, next, sorry, I have to move the mouse again. Next is the data type. Here we are defining an array of integers. You can use double, string, and so on. Very similar to the way you define any other variable. So you just add the number of elements here between two brackets. Next, how do you deal with an array and you fill it with information? Dealing with an array is very simple. For example, now let's say you write the statement a of 1 equals 77. This is an assignment statement, and it works the same way like assigning a value to a variable. The only exception is that when you look at the brackets, what do you find between the brackets? Usually you will find a number. So here, this means your computer will access the first element and put the value 77 in it. Okay, so the content will change into 77, as you can see here. Next, let's say you have a of 6 equal minus 33. What happens here, your computer is accessing the 6th element and placing the value minus 33. Again, just for clarification, and it's important for you to know that the first element is element 0. So when I am saying the first or the 6th element, it means the it means the first element after element 0, or the 6th element after element 0. So you just keep in mind the element 0 is always there. Okay, now if I write a of 2 equal 2, the computer will go to the cell whose address is 2 and place the value 2 in it. Okay, as simple as that. Now let's check this form. A of 1 plus 3 equal 212. Now 1 plus 3 will sum up to 4. So this tells the computer to go to the 4th address in the array and fill it with the value 212. Okay, now another example is this. Let's say j is 7 and a of j equals 55. If in this case, the computer will check out what is the current value of j, so it will go to the cell whose address is 7, okay, and replace its content to be 55. If the value of j is 0, the behavior changes and the computer will access the location 0. This is very important and very useful property, because it means we can use variables to identify which element we want to access in the array. Okay, so let's check out an example and see how it works. Now usually you will use operations like this. You'll define the array itself. For example, here we have my numbers and it has 7 elements, all of type double. Sorry, it means here it has 8 elements because we are having element 0. Then we are defining a counter. This one will be used to help us access every element in the array. Next is this part where we fill the array, let's say. So for I equals 0 to 7, my numbers of I equal 2 multiplied by I. What this one does, when the value of I is 0, the computer will access cell 0 and place the result of multiplying 2 by 0, which is 0. When I is 1, the computer will access the cell 1 and place the result of 2 multiplied by 1, which is 2. When the value of I is 2, the computer will access the second cell and place the result of 2 multiplied by 2, which is 4, and so on. Okay, so this is a very simple example. Let's check another example. We are working here with strings. So here we define the array names. It has 9 elements, starting with element 0, ending with element 8. And also we have an integer. What we do here, we are reading the names from the keyboard sorry, and placing them into the sorry, in the names array. So this is basically a very